Welcome back, everybody. We're here to pull cards for August the 14th. I am going to be pulling one card for overall energy, and after that, we'll be looking at one card for each sign, and we'll just be taking a peek at how those energies all work out together. All right, so let's pull our overall energy card. We have the Seven of Swords, and then let's pull the cards for each sign. Well, we have, how many cards fell? A few, quite a few. So we're going to put those back in. We're going to put those back in. And meanwhile, I would like to figure out how to make the zoom work on this. I have a new app here. And I don't exactly remember how to make the zoom work on this. Well, I guess I'm going to have to figure that out some other time. That's taking too long. Anyway, let's pull a card for each sign. So overall energy that we have showing up here is a Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is in reverse, which talks to me about the idea of somebody coming clean, or the idea of going back to a situation that you tried to exit from quietly, or somebody in your sphere of influence trying to do these things. And then there's other meanings too. So this can also be going back to the drawing board on a strategy. So we'll see how it comes up for each sign as we work our way through the zodiac. All right, let's see what we have. Let's look at Aries. So Aries, what we have coming up for you is the King of Swords. King of Swords, this is just telling me that there is something that you've made some kind of strategy about, and it looks to me like you're going back to the drawing board with that strategy. You feel like there's something that you could improve or make better, and so you are going to be working on that today. Taurus. Five of Swords showing up in reverse for Taurus placements. Looks to me like you're going back to some type of situation or to a person to try to make peace where there's been some chaos and drama before. Next up, we're looking at Gemini. So Geminis, you guys have the Strength card showing up here. Oh, This tells me that you're going back to a situation that you left before, and that going back to that situation is actually helping to improve how you feel about yourself and who you are and how you impact other people in the world. So we like that. And Cancer, Seven of Pentacles showing up in reverse. What's going on here? Looks to me, Cancers, like you guys are going back to the drawing board about some kind of strategy that you had. And the reason you're going back to the drawing board is because there was a payday that you were expecting to happen today that is not happening today. Doesn't mean it won't happen, just means it won't happen today. There's going to have to be some patience involved here. So that was for Cancers. Next up, let's look at Leo. Three of Wands showing up in reverse for Leos. Once again, I'm seeing this as going back to the drawing board, and this is going back to the drawing board specifically about either travel plans or some type of long-term plans that you may have had or that you did have. So going back to the drawing board and sort of reconfiguring those plans. Next up, we're looking at Virgo. The star showing up for Virgo. What is going on here? I think that star, Virgo, is the idea that going back to something that you were actually trying to get away from before is coming across as something that's very hopeful for you, something that you're feeling like there could be a lot of good that would come out of something like that. And so I think you're going back to something that you kind of tried to leave on the down low before and going back to it and hoping that things work out really well when you do so. Ba-da-da-da. Who was that? That was Virgo. Next up, let's look at Libra. Six of Cups showing up in reverse along with the Seven of Swords in reverse. Ba-da-da. Libras, I think there is something that you have some bad memories about it straight up, whether it's a situation or a person. And I feel like you guys may be going back to this person and trying to communicate with them today. Some of you may be trying to get some kind of closure around a situation. I really hate to see you guys do that. I'm just really feeling like if you haven't got closure by now, closure isn't happening no matter what you do. As far as from another person, it's time to create your own closure. And you have free will, so you can if you want to, but this just seems like the way these cards come up seems like it's much better to create your own closure and sort of let sleeping dogs lie, you know? Next, let's look at Scorpio. Oh, Knight of Swords showing up with the Seven of Swords in the overall in reverse. So, Scorpio. I do think we've made some kind of new strategy about moving forward, and we're going to be sharing that strategy with somebody else. In other words, we're going to be talking about this strategy. We're going to be letting somebody else know, look, this is what I'm planning on doing moving forward. Next up, we're looking at Sagittarius. Five of Cups showing up in reverse for the Sagittarius placements, along with Seven of Swords in reverse for the overall. So Sagittarius, this is just telling me that there's some kind of situation that you are basically forgiving, accepting, letting go of, and that has to do with somebody in your sphere of influence being sneaky with you in the past, and now you're not letting that bother you or hold you back anymore. You're letting that go. Ba-da-da-da. Capricorn. World card showing up for you guys with the Two of Wands in reverse showing up here. So, World card. I think that there's something going on where you may have had a cycle of getting away from something that you really didn't want to be a part of, but then you would feel like you had to get back into whatever that was or come back around, you know, wherever that was or whatever. There was some kind of cycle where you were getting yourself away from things that weren't working for you or that maybe even were toxic. And you used to, once you got away, you used to end up finding yourself coming back to that anyway. And so with our world card showing up here, this just says that you are ending that cycle. You're bringing it to a total and complete end. Next up, we're looking at Aquarius. Okay, so Aquarius, you've got the Death card showing up here. Major transformation happening. I like it. I like it. I think for a lot of you Aquarians, you have tried to make this transformation before, or else you've had sort of some false starts with it before. This feels like this is the real deal here, Aquarius. You're making that change. I think you've made a solid decision and now you're doing it. Next up, let's look at Pisces. So Pisces, you have the Four of Wands showing up here. This is just telling me that you guys are going back home, whatever that means. Whether it means you're going home to visit family of origin or a tribe, or whether that means that you're going to a place that feels like home, or this could be that you're moving back home. Maybe you moved out of home. You could be moving back into home. Maybe you were separated from a significant other, or maybe you had moved out of your parents' house. This would be moving back in. This could be happening. But that overall energy has to do with the idea of going back to something that you left before. And with the Four of Wands coming up, this has to do with some kind of home or a home situation. So this could be a town that you lived in before, or a state that you lived in before, or a country even. But going home, going back home, actually. So a lot of you could just very simply be going back to visit where you grew up or other family members with this card coming up here. Okay, so thank you guys very much for being here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I am looking forward to working with some of you personally later on today. Everyone have a fantastic day. Peace out.